We begin tonight with demands for justice across America, nearly 2 weeks after the death of George Floyd in police custody. There were powerful scenes of solidarity today. Protesters in the nation's capital lying in unison on a street now featuring that massive Black Lives Matter mural. Aerial images showing a large demonstration against racism in Denver. The tension between police and protesters, once at a boiling point, appearing to calm. But there are new calls for police accountability after disturbing body cam video captured a white police officer in Fairfax, Virginia, using a stun gun to take down a black man who had called for help. That officer now facing charges. And new demands to defund the police. Tonight, National Guard members are starting to pull out of Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles. President Trump warning they can, quote, quickly return if needed. It all comes with a 2-day public viewing set for tomorrow in Floyd's hometown of Houston, with presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden expected to meet with Floyd's family. ABC's Zachary Quiche leads our coverage from Minneapolis.
Tonight, with the country in turmoil, hundreds of thousands of Americans are protesting against systematic racism and police brutality. No! This as new video emerges of police officers allegedly using excessive force. In Fairfax, Virginia, video from an officer's body camera shows one man calmly talking to a black man who appears to be disoriented. A white officer then arrives using his stun gun several times.
We hold ourselves to a much higher standard than what we see in this video. We have an obligation to meet those standards, and I have an obligation to make sure that justice is served.
The officer then puts his knee on the man's back and stuns him again in the neck. The man saying he could not breathe.
Didi, I can't breathe, Didi, I can't breathe.
In St. Louis, an officer has been suspended and 2 others placed on leave after a Ring security camera captured video showing the officer hitting an unarmed black man with an unmarked car. The FBI is now investigating. Police say the man fit the description of a suspect wanted in connection with shots fired outside the police department. But in some cases, officers have been the target of attacks as well. The NYPD releasing this video of the suspects wanted for torching an NYPD van during protest in Brooklyn. No officers were hurt, but the van was destroyed. Tonight, there are growing outcries to cut police funding. In Minneapolis, at the site of George Floyd's homicide, this city's mayor showing up to offer support to protesters when the huge crowd confronts him.
We don't want no more police. Is that clear? We don't want people with guns toting around in our community, shooting us down. It is a yes or a no. Will you defund the Minneapolis Police Department?
Mayor Jacob Fry responds that he's against abolishing his police force.
I do not support the full abolition of the police.
The crowd boos, then forces him to leave the demonstration. Just outside the White House at what is now known as Black Lives Matter Plaza, protesters adding, defund the police. And today in New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio announcing a wave of reforms, including pulling funds from the nation's largest police force.
I want to make a statement of principle right now that we will be moving funding from the NYPD to youth initiatives and social services.
The acting head of the Department of Homeland Security scoffed at cutbacks, saying more money is needed for training.
It's an absurd assertion. If you're concerned about needing to reform different police departments or law enforcement agencies, you don't do that by slashing budgets. It makes no sense to me. I think it's a very political statement to make, but it does not protect our communities at the end of the day.
Tonight, those mostly peaceful protests continue. Large crowds in Boston, Philadelphia, in our Stephanie Ramos in New York City.
Hundreds of protesters taking to the streets of New York City. You can hear them chanting, "Justice now."
I would like to see justice for all the unarmed men and women that have died in America's soil.
Protests happening all over the country. Zachary joins us now live from the memorial where George Floyd died. And Zachary, we saw what happened with the Minneapolis mayor there in your piece, and some breaking news coming in tonight. This announcement just in: the Minneapolis City Council has announced their intent to disband the police department.
That's right, Tom. Here's the statement that was just released saying our system of policing is not keeping communities safe and our efforts at incremental reform have failed. Now, the mayor wants to keep the police force intact, so it's unknown if and when this dismantling will happen. Tom?
Zachary Quiche leading us off with that breaking news tonight. Zachary, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.